It's done.
All right,
It is. Check it.
I did. We'll call the meeting to order.
Start the first
I
one.
guess it's right here. We need 25-085, approval of the agenda.
No changes.
No changes? Your motion?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
And second?
I second it.
Motion to approve and second. All those in favor? All opposed? 086, open forum, and there's nobody out there signed up. We should move on to 25-087. Action and consent agenda for approval of minutes for November 18th, December 4th, December 9th. And the payment of claims. I have some questions on the claims.
All right.
Page 9, it says damaged desk for Miss Jenga. What happened to our desk and our table?
That was a table. Spanish Club had a fiesta and they set a grill on top of our plastic table and melted through it. So
We did not think that one through. did we? Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay,
Lessons are learned.
page 13.
What's the
Half a beat from right.
Yeah, good to ask that question.
What is that for?
We received grant funds through food service in the amount of like $3,700. And we had to use it on USDA approved local meat. So we reached out to Wrights and Jessica Rush and purchased patties and ground beef from both of them in the amount of $3,700.
Some from both of them?
Mhm.
Okay,
I don't think about that one.
that's all I got.
Anybody have anything else?
No, winter asked my question.
Tim still stumbling through.
I couldn't get to it on the thing, so.
We'll give you a couple more notes. Then we're having a test on it.
Nice.
I did a test on chemigation. Wow. It was an entertaining weekend when I was sick.
Oh, this weekend you
Yeah,
did?
I did, it's an open book test. But I didn't feel good. And every time I start reading, I car sick.
Yeah.
I have to lay down. It took me like all day to get through that stupid test.
I don't have any questions.
Payment claims. Yeah.
Tim's
anything?
good.
No, I did go through it.
Did you make her through it?
Yes, I did.
You're good. We had a motion
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
and a second. All those in favor? We'll move on to 25-088. New business. We have someone here from the Chiefs team.
Jennifer's on it.
I thought I seen her.
We can go through it here. So, I think I've shown you this.
Surprise.
This paper here. This is an accreditation model. Hello. And can I have one of those? I'm sorry.
Another one.
Anyways, yeah, I think we've shown it to you before. So on it, there's the four fundamentals.
There's a guy.
structured literacy, standards alignment, balance assessment, and quality instruction. Then structures, resource allocation, educator evaluation, professional learning, professional collaboration, tiered systems of supports, and family, community, and business partnerships. So, last year was kind of a transition year between KISA 1.0 and now they're kind of calling this 2.0. And KISA 1.0 started, it ended up being a 6-year process because you had an extra year with COVID. And we finished that a couple years ago. We were accredited. I think it was for 5 years. So they decided to kind of change this into where it's more of a yearly thing, and I think it's 2027 or 28 is when we'd be held accountable for it. It's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And so to start this off, we had a school improvement day in Oakley on November 12th. We had 3 other school districts, similar size. And then in that, you begin developing an action plan from that. Our district leadership team met last Thursday to continue that development. In that, we have to share with you guys, the site council, which Lacey did on November 18th, and then we're going to share it with staff on January 6th. It won't take us very long to share that with them. And then we have to submit our action plan to KSDE by January 13th for review. And so from that review, they'll take our plan and they've already told us 80% of the plans are getting sent back to the districts. And so
plan on being rejected.
Yeah, so we're planning on being rejected, I guess. So what our leadership team chose, and I say our DLT, which is teachers, admin, obviously, are all on this. And we chose for our fundamental, we have to choose one of them to focus on, is quality instruction, and then for the structure, professional collaboration. So in that, then we had to develop a goal for us. And an area that we've been really working on is we're getting a lot of data, but we don't have a lot of time to collaborate with each other to really work the data and put the kids in groups where they need to be in and things like that.
That's where that new software.
Yes.
Yeah,
Will
that'll help.
help tie everything
Yeah.
together. Okay.
Yeah. And so for our goals, and we don't have a calendar yet. We've talked about, kind of played with it a little bit, but we'd like to allow 8 collaboration opportunities throughout the school year. It might be that we take a half a day somewhere, like where we normally have a half day. It might be we take a day. It might mean that we take one of the days off the front of the year and move it to where it's more beneficial. And we can about get every month covered by doing that. There's I can't remember exact month, but maybe December would be harder, so maybe December and November are combined type of thing. And then as part of that, then you have to have a 1-year target goal. And basically that is, the first part is to get the days onto the calendar. And then the next part is to develop expectations, policies, and things like that to support.
What these meetings are going to look like, what's the outcome, what the purpose behind the meetings. We're not just meeting to.
It's not something you can put in an email.
Yeah.
These are like a staff meeting. These are true going over our data and working it and all that. And then part of that is they just ask you questions like, why are you doing it? And we just kind of went over that. And then we answer the questions. That's what this,
Some questions they give us to answer, and it's like you're repeating it 3 times, but still.
So Right now, what we're doing is just we have to review it with you guys. I'm not once KSDE approves our KISA plan, then we would come back to you for approval on it. But do you guys have any
So-
questions?
After they reject your initial plan, what's the turnaround time on?
I
2
think
weeks
it's
to
2 weeks. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have to look at it within 2 weeks, and they said they usually wait
2
13 and a half days.
Yeah.
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 So, that's the plan. So,
Did they say why they were rejecting everything?
they say it's usually little pieces. So these all have to be SMART goals. So it has to be measurable,
Yeah.
you know,
Specific,
time,
measurable.
you know, sensitive. Like you have to have specifics. Like you can't just say, we're gonna go have some meetings over some stuff, obviously, you know, so they want it very specific. So usually they've been returning them because of some little tweak that they want on there. So maybe we didn't put in there that the all staff, you know, as in our pairs also, or you know, we'll see what they have to say. I'm
It's
sure
usually,
it'll be
usually a wording issue.
we've talked to, we have, Amber Miller is actually kind of the KISA representative for our side of the state. And she's actually been our, representative for us for I don't know how many years. So, and now she's moved up to like be head of some other parts of KISA. So she's been pretty good for us.
Yeah.
And then, so we have, Brittany Shields from Goodland that comes in and kind of helps us, directs us too on which way to go. And so they both have a really pretty good idea of what's going on. So we're going to talk to Amber before we submit it completely.
Amber was
so
like
we might
in-
actually
Yeah. Be okay.
be okay because I think she's on the team to approve them. So
So Amber was in the same position that Brittany has,
Yeah.
and then they have 3 regions in Kansas, and it's like Salina West is Amber almost,
Yeah.
and then
whole area.
they have like one
She's
for
from-
urban and suburban districts.
She lives in Leota. So
Yeah, and then they have somebody for the eastern side of the
Where's
state.
she from?
Leota.
Leota.
She's really good. I mean,
Yeah. She keeps us.
Yeah,
she's
she's black and
she's
white.
yeah she'll tell you.
Pulls no punches
No.
on this. This needs
is-
reworking.
She's hurt our feelings
So.
several times, which is fine. We need it. So
Right by me.
yeah.
Did anybody give any reason why 80% are rejected the plans?
Just usually it's just small things that we have to fix on them. Just they want the wording different or we talked, who did we talk to that said that most of the goals are either going to be underneath our quality instruction or what is the other one? Structured
standard.
literacy.
Okay.
So most of the state is choosing between quality instruction or structured literacy. And then the different structures have been pretty similar to what we've chose to. So it's a lot of the state's goals are going to be pretty similar. So I think by the time we get done, probably half the state will have basically the same goal as us. But yeah,
After are there places that have resubmitted that, do they have to do it more than once?
not
They
I
they
don't-
may not have had very many yet because we were about the second round.
Okay,
There was a first group that did about
2 weeks before us.
yeah, as I say in October sometime, and they're due like right now,
Mhm.
and then so I don't know that we've had a lot of.
Right.
to answer
There's a
that
lot of them
question.
Sure.
that
No,
won't
I-
be submitted
Mhm.
until May. Looking at the schedule, so
Yeah.
I think we're
Yeah,
sitting
and there's
pretty good
some.
with January.
I think like Colby because they put them all, and
Yeah.
Colby's like March before they even do it.
Mhm.
And
so it's just really getting
Yeah.
pulled up, I guess is
Yeah.
the best way to put it.
New and improved.
KISA 2.0.
I will say, I mean, we want it to get like passed and everything, but the last one waiting for 6 years and hoping at the end that it's okay is kind of
Yeah.
is it kind of built on itself and
Changed
And they
halfway through
changed
like
the-
3 times.
Yeah.
Like now you need data on this, this, and this. You need data from 3 years ago on this, which was fun because we weren't collecting it. But Anyway, we're collecting everything we can right
But
now.
now,
We've learned.
hopefully this new process will be, I think they'll hopefully learn from their
Yeah.
shortcomings and mistakes from KISA 1.0. And
Right, and they're not saying that anybody's going to be just not accredited completely. Basically, they're going to give you the steps to be accredited if something doesn't come back on compliance or something.
We would really just have to not do this to be accredited.
Yes.
I think that they'll work with you to. I mean, they had it conditionally accredited. And it was just the steps, like Lacey said.
We're going to aim for not being conditionally accredited, obviously, but.
Questions, statements, thoughts? Anything to add from the audience?
Sarah's next year.
Yeah.
It's okay. Guess we'll move on to B, 088B. Gym use for events coming up.
So, this is something that we've continued to work on. I wouldn't say it's been like our highest priority, but we've kind of continued to work on it. So let's see here. First thing, we wanted to make sure that, you know, the students would like to play. And so we talked to, Jeff and I talked with the basketball coaches, and they had talked to their kids, and they were asking for if they could play one or two more home games, if possible. And they all understood it's probably just for this season, because next year maybe it's gonna probably be difficult for that. So Coach D and Mr. Sampson presented to the other ADs and principals. I don't know if they volunteered.
We talked to them. We have a league meeting every 6 months and talk about stuff, and we brought it up, discussed it there, and it's in Colby when we do it, so it was easy for St. Francis and Oberlin to come this way just to see the conditions and kind of what we were talking about and see their thoughts on coming here and playing, you know, with the concessions they're going to have to make, you know, with some of the stuff lacking. So, and I wasn't in on that meeting. I wasn't going to go, but they came after the meeting. So,
it was a good conversation. We were kind of telling them how we thought it would work. They gave us some ideas on it, and just the main question, if we have a visitor and like, one, do you smell smoke, and two, are you comfortable playing a game? And in both cases it was no and yes. Like, no, I don't smell smoke, and yes, we would be comfortable playing a game in it.
From a fire marshal standpoint, it's acceptable for capacity.
Yeah, it's not under, the actual gym isn't under any capacity restrictions. I do have a map of the old school.
I just remember there was some discussion on it, so I didn't know.
No, that's an area that was fully vetted to be open.
Okay.
As far as the gym, you know, here's a map of the old school, and obviously I'm looking more at the left-hand side where the gym is. Or I guess I'm looking at the left, it's more the bottom of the page. But, so basically anything that's on the east side of the gym, the locker rooms, the bathrooms over there, equipment, that's all blocked off per the fire code that we have, the code footprint. The junior high grills that would be on the south side of the gym, that has been approved to be open. So we're good for that.
Just
there's no like toilets or water or anything.
Yeah, well, I would say if there's probably no water, it'd be pretty hard to put somebody down in there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So change.
Just change and meeting place, basically.
You'd have to.
In between.
Pull the toilets or something.
They are.
They're gonna get used.
They are pulled
They're
because
all
when we
right.
winterized it. Yep.
So the boys' junior high locker room on the north side. So that hallway where that blue arrow is, that's 24 feet long, and the regulation the door's blocked off now since the demo, but the rule or the regulation is 20 feet is all the further it can be, and so we can't use that locker room. Now Jeff did talk to the fire marshal about using it in case we have like a tornado or weather reason, and they gave us approval for that.
Yeah, we can use both of those locker rooms or dressing rooms for tornado shelters. Yep.
You're saying the 125?
Yes. Yeah. So we have to keep that one locked. So Mrs. Vapp's room is 115. That's got all the new electrical equipment in it. We can't use that room because of that reason. And then the 112, 113, I don't know why we can't use that one. I know they pulled some of the tiles off. They left the part of the tile, so I don't know if it's...
They left the asbestos puck or glue.
Yeah.
But it's exposed, but we're not approved to
use
occupy or be in,
Somebody might lick it.
I guess.
Up there on the ceiling.
Yeah. They pulled them up high when they ran to do electrical.
Yeah, I'm like, they probably would.
Which one did you say? What number?
Well, it's 13, 12, 11, 10 are all one room. I don't know why they have them
I know, that's funny.
split like that.
So none of that.
Real quick, I'm sorry to go back, but on that hallway, we asked if we build a wall 4 or 5 feet over, and the fire marshal said no.
What about just using the boys' restroom and just closing that door?
No, I think we're kind of in the same boat there because there's no egress to the north. They told us none of that through there.
I mean, that you don't even come out that way.
I guess we could check on it, like the 127, you mean?
Yeah, just close the door in between 127 and 125.
Yeah,
And use
I don't
127.
It'd be hard to do it as a locker room. It's not real big.
I remember using it as a locker room one time in junior high.
Really?
What would happen if we used it and the fire marshal found out that we used it? How the hell is he gonna know anyhow, but,
Which way are we going? I mean, if nobody
Well,
knows.
you
fine.
Where's he live?
It'd be a lot harder to get along with next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we have our
We
building
don't wanna burn
going
that
through.
bridge.
well, we about done getting to get along with him anyhow.
Anybody gets along with him, but
That's, to me, it's foolish not be able
No,
to use that.
I think we have a new one. So
Oh,
I think
That was my understanding.
I'd heard that. But.
because he was over by Oberlin before, right?
But what?
We have a new fire marshal that is
Yeah, I don't know.
5 book.
Trying to make a name.
He's thorough.
So,
I like that thorough.
so the idea is then to use that girls' locker room 117 and then the band room as a locker room. I asked Coach Lucas was in, so I asked him which one they'd prefer to be the home, and he said he'd talk with Coach Lair, because part of that would be our team would have to, or our school would have to share with boys and girls, and then the opposing school would have to share.
So if you close those doors for the bathrooms, you could have 4 different rooms. Each bathroom, boys' bathroom, girls' bathroom, girls' locker room, and then the band room.
So yeah, I don't.
That's what I would suggest.
But we
Well-
can't use the boys' restroom.
Yeah.
For code.
Don't know.
Yeah, well, no, it's just for
Well,
changing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have to go when we go to Cheyenne, and they share a locker room. Our boys, like, you know.
Well, I know, but I don't
one
want that to be the standard.
Huh? I know, but it's just for the time being. I mean,
Still like to be better.
Why wrestlers only one night?
what's that?
Why wrestlers only one night?
That's the only home
That's
event.
the only one
yep,
they got?
Yep. We just don't do many duels anymore. then we definitely can't host our tournament. So
How long would it take to get it cleaned up and ready to go?
I know they've been down in there and cleaned some to get them to where we could use them for shelters.
Mhm.
I don't know. Need to go down in there and see what they need.
Rob was asking about moving the mats that were in the stands, which were
Yeah.
where we wanted them to put that. I mean, we have till the 14th to get it.
Yeah.
To get
Why?
it.
It should just be a
I would say-
balcony, wouldn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
As it used to be.
I'd
And
say,
it is dirty again. It all needs cleaned again.
I'd say get it cleaned up and then see where we're at to decide what dates to use.
Or you just set a date and say, get this cleaned up.
Is there any reason why it wouldn't be cleaned? Like, what's the
Right.
approval for the cleaning? Does somebody have to sign off on it?
No, I just
Curious if there's
No, I just want to, like I said, just set a higher standard of,
Look good.
present it so it looks good. I mean, I just don't want it to be a dusty, dirty.
we have a
Mess.
meeting the 16th. So that wouldn't get the 14th one. Do we have a meeting before?
No.
You indicated that Terracon.
I'm not opposed to. I was just suggesting.
We don't think we could have it clean by January 14th. I mean, it's a few days. I mean,
Right.
I'll go in
It's a
and
month.
help clean it.
Right.
I mean, I want a home game. I'm tired of going over.
I guess the
was our
reason I
whole
asked what
point.
would be the approval or what is the final decision of acceptability of setting a date. Like, that's what I was asking. Who would sign it off or how would you sign it off or what is the decision or why would?
Well, I guess because it hasn't even been really touched to date, has it?
What's that?
Oh, it's been cleaned.
I don't
I
know.
mean, have you been up there?
Yes. I mean, especially in the locker rooms have not been cleaned.
The bathrooms, yeah.
Yeah.
How long do you anticipate that it would take?
Well, when we
Is it
cleaned
that
it,
bad?
we hired it the first time because it was so dusty, and it took about 2 or 3 days.
I got a text from Mike Linkus
Mm-hmm.
last night or this morning. The bottom part of it says both girls and boys would help in a way, anyway, to get things ready and cleaned up whenever they need it.
Just
I would just like to see it cleaned. I don't care when it's done by, just before it's used.
Mm-hmm.
we've talked with Rob. He knows that it's kind of a good time to get a baseline clean with the Christmas break and everything. One of the things I don't have it on here, but like we're not planning on putting like the banners back up. That'd be a lot of work to do that.
For
'Cause-
no need.
well, and then they'd have to be taken right back down
Mhm.
for when they do the construction part. And I mean, obviously it looks the same, but it doesn't have like that type of stuff in there and things. I do think a positive on this, like scoreboards and speakers, I do think it would be really good to use those things. Just from what we understand, the acidity of the smoke, sometimes it takes a while to get it, for a problem to show. And I think the more we use that would be a good thing.
You indicated a while back that Terracon did an air quality test. Have you got a copy of the results of that?
I think so. I don't have it with me.
They did one inside,
No, they did air quality outside.
outside.
They didn't do it inside?
They did
Jim?
some kind of test on like the residue from the soot and smoke in there. I know they did something like that. I can't remember what it was called. It all
Yeah,
came back good.
I can't remember if it's part of the main report that they sent back to us at the end, or if it's, I'll have to go back and.
There's been at least, if my memory serves, it seems like there's been 2 air quality
That's what I
tests
was
in there.
thinking. I think they just told us.
In this
Yeah.
process that we've been in, at this adventure.
I feel like I've heard that also.
I think one of the was monitoring it during demo,
Yeah. Yes.
but then they did do some other tests. There was
I thought they
there was a
did it
different
right
guy
after.
here that did them.
We've been using it to practice in, right?
Yeah.
Again, what would be acceptable, or is there somebody that wants to give it an all thumbs up that it's clean enough?
I mean, we can go and look at it. Or if you want 2 board members to come, when it's done,
Have you been up there since it's been opened up, or?
Once.
It's dirty right now. There's no doubt about it. Jordan's right. It needs cleaned.
I'm not arguing, I'm just saying.
So I guess, a couple fears of mine, but one is, you got dust and dirt in the bleachers on the benches, or on the bleachers, and you start getting people moving in there and you stir it all up, and it just, now there maybe is an air quality problem.
Not
it
arguing
just
that
makes
at
it
all.
worse, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Who's gonna set the standard of?
or who's going to sign it off and, designate somebody, and then it's.
I know, I don't know how to answer that, but
And I just think we say
clean is clean, but.
Yeah, I think we just tell them to clean it, and then I don't see.
But obviously, everybody's got a different standard of what is clean.
Sure, you just have to have some sort of finish line so that we can justify using it as.
No, I'm not opposed to that.
That's the reason
I just would like it.
Quality.
Yeah.
This would be an easier decision for me if it was already clean right now.
Well, the issue where you run into is that temporary furnace, it brings dust in.
Well, but then that's gonna be a problem the whole time we're using this then. So now we've just added an extra workload onto everybody that we're already short-staffed on keeping things going. So it's, there's a lot of unintended consequences that come with trying to do something good here.
The other side of that is if it is utilized, it may be just throwing it out there. If it is utilized in that fashion, it may be easier, or I don't know how I want to say it, but if you let something set and don't use it, it's harder to keep clean.
Well, sure.
Versus if you're actually using it. So I guess what I'm summarizing is if somebody thinks there needs to be somebody to give it a sign off, go for it. Otherwise, my personal opinion is let's use it. We've been beating this around when can we use the gym? I agree it needs cleaned. We just gotta have what determines what is acceptable. Whoever can sign it off, signs it off, and move on.
Hopefully it's good enough.
Well, I'm assuming that
Building
Roger can
administrator,
bring the little machine up there and do the hallways and
Yeah.
all
Their
that,
job,
like,
not
it's
ours.
gonna be clean.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel about it is I would recommend scrutinize it because of the situation, but I think if you guys sign off on it, use it. Maybe we should check to make sure there's been an air quality test. But at some point we gotta start using it, right?
And I'm not suggesting that I'm opposed to using it at all. I just want it to be above standard when it's being used. I just want it to be presentable.
You want patrons to walk.
I want somebody to be proud that we've what
Opened
we've
it up and
done to
using
get
it.
to this point. I want, instead of just half-ass throwing it together and let's play ball, which would still be an amazing feat, but I'd like to see above and beyond.
So what defines above and beyond?
I don't know.
Everybody's clean is different.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm
absolutely,
saying is
but-
you have to have some sort of finish line if that's a determination.
The service master cleaned it.
Yeah.
Why don't we
That they can.
designate, a couple board members to go? up and
I
check it after
I
they
trust the
cleaned
people
it.
that are, in charge of this thing to know what is clean and what is not, but
Did you scroll that
So
back
would you
to
say
the dates
then-
and
before
what,
the
of the
fire?
games?
What they would have walked into previous fire would be
5
acceptable?
dates.
The most, I got stuff from,
it
Administrator,
needed work at that time too.
Building supervisor, Mr. Dunker can set in for a third party.
Yeah, I'm not. I guess I don't.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with how many dates you wanna utilize.
that's what I was saying,
Which one is senior
I'm not-
night for basketball?
The 18th of February.
I guess part of that would be how well does it work too, if we get in there and
Right.
this went okay, the locker room situation worked, the bathroom situation worked, but if it's a total disaster and it doesn't work, maybe we're going to rethink using it for all of the dates, as well.
I mean, it's like you said, there's going to be a workload associated with. I mean, there already is with using it for practice, with keeping it clean. Is there going to be an additional?
Well, when we start using it at some point, there's going to be.
Well, sure.
We got to make a commitment at some point. I mean, that's been a long pull of getting back in the gym that I've heard for a year-ish. We have an opportunity. What is the holdup? And what is the hill or the mountain to climb, and how do we get there?
I'm all for opening the gym up. Now, we're gonna wanna open it up for 5 games, or 1 game, or 2, or what?
Can we just open it up and have discretion on that?
See how it first
You have the
goes.
14th and then you have the 16th as a board meeting, right? I mean, you're gonna wanna know about the 7th.
So there, how's that? Run it for the 14th and reevaluate on the board, reconvene, however you want to word it, and reevaluate it on the 16th.
Can I just say, could we do the 14th and
Gonna say-
17th
Yeah.
if we do that? Just
That
because
way-
We're
we're
going to
in the
plan.
That'd be hard to turn around.
Sure.
and-
Junior
I'm fine
stand,
with that.
all that
And
type
then
of
we
stuff.
can
And then
reevaluate after
And if
those
it's
2 games.
You've already
Got a
got it.
motion?
alright, so I'm gonna holler a little bit here because I've been talked over 3 times already. Mike Lankus said that the highest priority the kids would like to do is February 18th on senior night. That is the first one that they would want done. If nothing else, they would like to have it by February 18th so they can have their senior night. Which if we do that, we're gonna need to have it ready for wrestling January 30th for senior night. Okay? So, at that point in time, he said that their next one is January 17th, would be their next second choice for having, if it come down to having it open for just 1 game.
Well, they give listed all 5 games.
He did list all 5 of it, but he
Yeah.
said that the kids, their most important one is obviously gonna be senior night. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see them do them all.
I would too, but, if we're gonna do a trial period on this thing, what's
Either
the
commit to
date?
it or not.
Either do it or don't. I mean, the trial period's not gonna do any good. If we open it up, do it the 14th and it works, then just open the damn thing up and be done with it. And go to town. If it doesn't work, if something causes problems, if the heater has blown half an inch of dust on top of everything in 2 days, then shut the damn thing down. Plain and simple. I don't know.
With that, though, the 14th and 17th are close enough together. If we either need to try it the 14th if we're gonna do that and just plan on the 17th there, or we need to plan on the 17th elsewhere. It's gonna be too quick a turnaround for
scheduling
out of town and the event center and, like I said, junior stand and
That's
all
another
that type of
problem.
stuff.
If we take the commitment away from Colby and this don't work, and Colby's booked up, then what do we do?
I think you keep your February dates on the calendar.
Is that fair to Colby?
I think they've been very helpful.
Yeah,
They've-
I think they'd be. I mean, was that Dion's been the one dealing with him. We could sure talk to him about that. But there's probably enough time between that 17th and to tell them we still want these dates or we don't.
Terry, is there any reason why you wouldn't like to see it open, or you
I'm
concerns?
about to make a motion and then y'all can decide. I wanna make a motion, we open it up for the 5 games on the 14th, 17th, 11th, and the 18th.
And
And the
and
30th.
And wrestling?
And the wrestling. 16.
You wanna throw the 30th in too?
What's in the middle of what you just said?
Yes.
Yes, and the 30th. With the 14th and 17th being a trial period, and if everything goes well, then the other 4 dates will be utilized.
I second that.
There's a motion to open it up to the games that are mentioned, the nights that are mentioned, the matches. And a second. All those in favor? All opposed? Who's gonna wear the white glove in there and check this out, boy?
One small step
Samson?
for man, one large step for Atwood, Kansas.
Alright. Now we move on
put a filter on that thing too. Check it.
to C, meal guidelines.
Alright, you have in your packet, it looks like this. Get that one. So we've had the meal guidelines since I've been here. We don't know if this is the last time this was addressed or not, but you see that date of 9/18/2012, but the numbers match up with what we currently pay.
Which ones are the current? $10?
The ones that are crossed out. So it's $6 for breakfast, $8 for lunch, and $12 for dinner.
And these are for our trips.
Yes, so staff and students. So if we go on a trip for like state basketball or something, then that's the per diem for the teams, per kid per day. If we send the staff member somewhere, that's the same thing. So obviously things have changed since 2012 with cost, and so I recommend the $4 increase for each of those. Just that seems closer to what the costs are for meals, and I'm guessing we've had some sponsors cover for us, or kids, or something along the way. It's something that needs changed.
Is that enough? I don't remember the last time I seen bacon and eggs on a menu for $10. I mean,
Sir, get you a
And
granola bar.
in all, yeah, in all seriousness, I just,
I'd move that we accept the presented amounts.
Been
Oh, sorry.
a motion to accept the meal guidelines as presented,
Second.
and a second. All those in favor? All opposed? Move on to 25089, administration reports.
Alright, so, last week, admin met with the guys from My Education Data through the Southwest Plains Service Center. Southwest Plains sent somebody to be with us that day as well. They got us logged in, to the program, our testing data, our information system, everything's, for the most part, been synced, tied into our page. I'm not showing you our page because there's no way to do it without it showing student data.
For each of
So, if that makes sense. So, we asked if they had like a dummy student or something, and they sent us a presentation that they have to help us out. And I think they actually sent this one to Colby. And so this is what it's gonna look like. So I know a lot of you have kids, grandkids. All of you will have a log, and it's not even really a login. It's you go through your email that's attached to PowerSchool, and it has a authentication to make sure you're the correct person, and it gets you to this page. So yes,
When will this be online?
we are going to talk about it, but
Okay.
January sometime.
Okay.
Is what we're looking at. So they have a picture of the student, which is the same picture as what's on PowerSchool. It has like information here. You can learn some. Like, I know this is hard to see.
Is it blurry to everybody or just me?
No, it's blurry.
I sit through a whole day of that. And rules and candy. The last 30 minutes, I looked at the guy beside me and said, "Is my eyes that bad or has it been blurry?" He said, "No," he said, "I was scared to say something."
Well,
So is this better?
yeah.
Okay, so ask favorite subject, dream job, favorite book, college, date of birth, days enrolled, days absent, times tardy. Then there's these badges, and those are like celebrations. So if you've had good attendance, if you've had good grades, you've done well on your test, you've improved on your test, you get a badge like that. And there's a spot that kind of explains that. And then when you come to it, and here it has your attendance percentage, how many D's and F's you've had, your testing data. So like, we don't do this in WEA.
Just calls it right out, doesn't it?
Yep.
I was like, that would have been red in my book.
Right in your face. Yeah.
It'd have been double digits for me.
So it had, so for us, it would be more like our fast bridge testing and things. But then it has some information that the student gets to fill out, and it's, so it says some things about it. The guy who runs this, or who came up with it, they are out of Vegas, and he was telling us about his student who's like probably elementary school, and he was talking about he learned things about his child through this.
Yeah, you can change. There's 6 questions. You can change them every year to something different. So like one year, we told them to stick with the normal ones that they start with, and so we can alter them to be different questions so that it keeps it kind of updated for the kids and the parents too.
I would say the parents can't go in there and type in a question for them.
No, they can't fill it out for the child.
So here's the badges, like I said. So you get a badge like straight A's, quarter 1, data.
We saw on our kids right now we do Fast Bridge, and so we did a test in September, and then we just did one in December, and so our kids are popping up with like growth, like a math growth badge that show that they grew, like their test scores were better, or better than so many percent of the rest of the national percentiles and stuff. So like right here, outperforming 80% of peers nationally, you know. So instead of it being map, it would be Bass Ridge, and so it's already pre-populating all that and pulling all that data for everyone. So it's pretty cool.
One of the things they said really that's great about it is it shows a comparison to their peers. And they provide us with like the attendance data, or pull that all in there, and even a letter. But it'll say your student has missed this many days, this many times more above the average of their peers.
Right here, this is your attendance.
But
so this is a student, this is their grade level, and then this is a school average.
For their attendance.
And so we have students who are all the way over here. We have students who are all the way back over here.
What's the difference in the colors?
Like red
if
is
it's red, you're seen as
Red's
like
bad.
chronic absenteeism. So that's one of the things that we.
I'm
get
saying
to
the red has not. I mean, the colors have no. It's just a visual.
yeah.
Yeah, but if it's in the red, then we get dinged through the state, like with our chronic absenteeism. Like it's one of our things that we get.
I was
Rated
looking
on
around
as
at
a
it
school.
today too. So if you come down here, this is day by day, week by week, and if you hover over these days, like I can't remember what yellow is, but like
It's
red,
more like a school absence.
yeah,
yellow.
I think there's
Or
a light
tardy.
green.
Oh, maybe that's Maybe the yellow's like a half day.
Yeah. You hover on that, and it'll actually tell you why they were gone that day, whether it was a doctor's appointment, whether it was illness, all that stuff. So you can go day by day and see it all right there. It's, you know, a kid that has a whole bunch of red, you can start figuring out pretty quick, is there a trend there?
Use that for
And
our
all that type of
teachers.
stuff.
Where,
Yeah.
where is it comparing it to the average or whatever you're talking about?
So
Technically,
hers
it
is the
should
white
be able
dot,
to be utilized, right?
and then her grade
Just a
level
name.
is that one, and then school is. Like this one doesn't go nationally.
Yeah.
They said on this you're more likely to go off of your school average and like.
No.
So it's really a conversation starter with a parent because the student's name's Brittany. If Brittany's down here, Brittany's parents may think that being at school 75% of the time is a normal thing
Mhm.
until they can see, oh, her class isn't attending or is attending that much more.
Or, oh my gosh, I had no clue. I know my kid in this school, but 15 days, 20 days, I didn't realize it'd been gone that many.
So,
Steeler 19 times.
so part of this too is a newsletter that comes with it. Basically, each building will have a newsletter, and each principal can add in information like for parents to go home, just like so like this week is the end of the semester and then we have our Christmas break. That would be something that could be added into it. And then there's events for the week.
That just pulls from our Google Calendar from our.
Yeah. And then it will give information and it takes each kid individually and sends that to their parents.
So then it also will say like your child's missing 2 assignments in math or like was absent in or the different things too. So
The data's only as good as whoever's inputting it.
Mhm.
Who is designated to make sure that it is, or, I mean, teachers will be on their portion to keep it updated, right?
right. So
And then
Yeah.
from the, from an officer attendance, that'll be,
that's teachers at the high school they put in their attendance. Well, all teachers put their attendance in the mornings.
Mhm.
You know.
so it'll all be from the teacher.
Yeah.
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 Now,
The
It
only
pulls,
thing is
pulls it from Power
Power
School.
School. But it takes a day for like some of the grades to roll over. So if like an assignment got put in at 10 o'clock this morning, it won't show up until tomorrow after the.
It like resyncs every night.
Right. It'll sync in Power School. Like if you need an up to date, like your kid is on the eligibility list or something, then check Power School before you check this basically.
So, and I'd have to go back and look at, it's been a while, to look at our handbooks. Is there a requirement that states how long staff has to enter the information in? Because I know
Right.
with our kids,
Mhm.
there's been times where papers have not got entered in for
Right away.
days.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really work when you're trying to stay on top of it.
Right. Especially
It
with
doesn't
eligibility, yeah.
So
I think there is. I don't know.
There's a clause in the eligibility policy. If nothing's been entered in 2 weeks, then that student is no longer held.
Accountable.
They're not.
fair enough, and I understand and respect that. What I'm saying is we need a policy or to revisit or look at that policy for our staff.
Great.
2 weeks.
Two teachers. I mean, it doesn't obviously
minimum.
doesn't always happen, but
Right.
2 grades a week is what they're supposed to do.
What were they?
2
2
grades,
days?
at least 2 grades a week.
Hey, let me borrow your pen real quick.
Sorry.
I'm just far enough away it didn't get me this time.
Well, he
So I
asked to
got
borrow
that.
mine earlier, so anyways.
But yes,
What are we
there
talking
is, and that's in the teacher
Accountability.
handbook, I believe, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
think so too.
Yeah, I mean, you don't enter grades and you're trying to keep an eye on them, and then
It defeats the purpose of doing this. That's why I'm saying there has to be something in the
Yeah.
policy.
Well, and I think it's good for the teachers to be held accountable too. Like we're telling them to put in their stuff, and then the parents are looking, and
I will take a gander, but if somebody happens to find that in the policy, would they mind sending it to me as well?
I guess it's in the staff
I've been
handbook
to
or
the staff.
in the policy, but yeah, we can.
I mean, if somebody happens to see it, I'd appreciate it.
She got on.
Just kind of an example.
This is ours. And it shows like that graph right there, the blue and gray one at the top left. That's our absentee from this year's blue. Last year's was the gray, and so this is when I said we don't want to be higher, and we are higher right now. So it's kind of concerning. But I mean, sickness has been
The caveat to chronic absenteeism is that it doesn't matter why they are gone.
right.
They could have
The best excuse
some
out
kind
there.
of
Yeah.
major sickness.
Yeah.
Have a good reason that they are
Yes.
gone.
Right.
They don't care. They've
These
missed.
are excused absences.
Yes.
Even. Yeah.
Gray was last year and blue was this year.
Yeah.
And this
Why
is,
does the graph follow each other? What happens in those periods that everybody's gone? The same as last year or this year. If you look at the peaks and the valleys,
Yeah. It is like a sickness.
It's it's
Like,
where everybody
you
comes
see
together
where
at
they
the beginning of the
peak,
year.
yeah.
And everybody's doing that kind of crap to each other.
Yeah.
And it makes them
Yeah.
all sick, and they come back.
Well, and you think about our kids that were sick during like football and volleyball season, like you can see that peak right there, you know. But it's been, and
I
there's
think
been
it
a
goes
bunch
down
of
on the weekends.
that's what I'm thinking too.
them. Yeah.
Amazing.
Everybody shows up on Friday to
Yeah.
play.
and this is only going to go back. How far will this go back?
However much data we put in, really, I think. But I mean, we put in last year's, and then
Are we planning on putting more than last year?
I don't think we were planning on it at this point, unless we need to. I don't know.
No,
Tell
I'm
Keith
just
tells us we're
curious.
supposed to track 3 years ago, but
I'm not saying for
Yeah,
attendance. I'm just
it's through like Power School, all of our data, and we have like our Fast Ridge stuff, all that we do have it, but it just takes a little bit to sink in, and we just didn't feel like it was. We personally have it. We don't know if we want to put it on here, just because it's a lot.
So what's that?
Just,
Like
just,
Fast
a,
Ridge.
just a thought on that. Would it be beneficial for like the parents, like the seniors, to have the last 4 years?
Right,
I mean,
4 years of it.
yeah, so
Right,
they have that
and
whole.
we do. I
high
mean, we
school.
have it. We just don't have it synced with this
Sure.
currently.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
So that they have it all in one place.
Right,
Don't
which
have-
has been,
don't
that's
have
what
to
we're
chase
looking,
it
because
down.
it'll have Fast Ridge, ACT scores,
Yeah.
all of their classroom scores, like everything all right here.
We've had 30 tardies in the past 5 days. One unexcused absence. And one student who's had 5 or more consecutive
Consecutive
absences.
absences, so someone was gone. Someone was sick, real sick.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those. I'm like,
Who's been gone?
I actually already knew the answer to that. So
So.
I was like, oh, wait, no, I do that.
Chronically absent.
And so it actually has a report for the chronic absenteeism that it generates for us that basically gives us a list of kids, and it has a form letter and gets it ready for you. You just have to send it out saying that your student's been gone 9 times, which is over 3 times more than the rest of the class at this point. And any time out of class, whether it's excused or not, is still time away from classroom, and it kind of just lays it out there.
Easy for kids to fall behind and.
Yeah. So, same thing with tardies. I have a young person that's been tardy 36 times this year. 36 times.
It's a long walk to school.
I think mine was 20 some when I was looking today.
Yeah. But they're here, right? Tardy or not. But we're gonna show that to the teachers on the 6th when they come back from our work day. We're gonna take an hour, show them this information because they haven't really got to play with it at all, so they can get in. The other thing that's nice with this is that right now, Fastbridge, you can only see the kids that are in your seminar for him. So like Mrs. Vapp, who teaches math to the junior high, can only see like her 15 kids that are in her seminar. But she teaches junior high math to all of these students, and she can't see any of their scores on like Fastbridge. Can't see.
That's kind of an issue.
It is. And so with this, now she'll be able to get into every single one of her classes and see all of her students. So that'll be nice. The other thing with classroom grades, like if she goes in, she's given out an assignment 4.1, she can see like where one student has scored versus all the other ones. So like when we had parents that complain and say, oh, everybody's failing. Well, we can look at the assignment and see that like 2 kids are failing, but 15 are doing just fine, you know, and see where like their class average is on every single assignment that gets put into Power School. So that's already where the teachers are just putting it in like normal, but it's taking all that data and saying, okay, well, you got a 75%, everybody else got a 95%. So.
And the only catch to that is if it's a small enough populated class, it will not pull the average data because of the possibility of, you know, if there's 3 kids in there, it's pretty easy to know.
To figure out
What
what
is
to
the
do.
break point? Like
Yeah.
5?
I think it's
3?
like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think so.
How many classes do we have that are only 4 or 5?
Say, is there any?
There's not a ton. Trying to think. I mean, there might be 2 or there's just a handful. I mean, there's less than 5 that are that way.
Yeah.
So
teachers get to play with it January 6th, and then kind of work it and get all of our kinks kind of worked out before we put it out to the parents. And we're thinking mid-January for the parents to look at it, and then have them really get into using it, and then talk with them at our parent-teacher conferences in March and show them really all the different parts of it. So that's.
Has there been any hiccups or anything from?
Not really. The only kind of hiccups that we have is Power School is very customizable, and so whoever set up Power School way back in the day for us kind of did things differently than what you would do today. So it's been kind of, oh well, this field's not populating quickly, so it's been.
Right. It's probably gonna pull some weird things. We did find like, because your parent portal, you can go in and you put in your email address. Well, it has to be the email address that you gave Power School at the beginning when you enroll your kid to be able to see your child. So you have to find that, make sure that your email address actually matches that. So if you can't log in, then we have to get your correct email address put in there that you want to use for.
And make sure there's the green check mark by
There
data
has
access.
to be, right, data access, is that what it is?
Mhm.
Yeah, because like I have data access because like a lot of people opt out for the like the text email and phone call spam, right? Well, you're gonna have to check yes, you want it, so that you can get all the access in there. So,
It's been pretty easy so far.
Yeah, yeah.
Their team has been
Yeah.
excellent to work with, and
so we'll find some things, but like Susie was in there today, we're looking at the absence, and like some of them aren't pulling, but she found like where it says that we have to contact Dana Philpott because she's in charge of something. We're like, no, change that.
So it's a matter of just
Cleaning up all of our parts. So I'm sure we'll find some things, but
Is the automated phone call gonna come from Jerry, that when you ask it for a computer, it says it's just the microphone that makes his voice sound like a computer?
I mean, we can if we want to.
I'd like to find that computer named Jerry.
So we did find a little bit of information on what you were asking. In the certified handbook, it says, it is vital that teachers explain their grading system to students at the beginning of classes. This ensures a clear understanding of expectations in advance from the beginning. Teachers are required to record grades in PowerTeacher and are encouraged to record an adequate number of grades during a grading period to ensure a wide range of opportunities for students to learn in basic subjects. That's in the certified handbook.
In the student handbook, it says eligibility will run at 8:30 on Monday mornings, and the students will be notified of their eligibility. If the teacher has not updated grades for 10 days, the student will be considered eligible. This was typed up and released to the teachers and coaches so they are aware who is eligible, who is on the eligible list.
Very okay.
Yeah, and I think
Wide open.
it's
Yeah.
been, two or three grades a week is kind of what was in place before, and I discontinued that. So.
Would you guys mind send me the whatever section, please? Thank you.
Section, paragraph, sentence.
I like this great reading material. I love it.
We can all see it.
Cool, I'll give you some more.
All right. I read a lot of manuals and policies and more than I could ever want to, I think, anymore.
All right. So,
That wasn't everything.
in December, or it's usually actually in November, this year is a little later, but we get it's called preliminary legal max letter. It is basically what we submitted as part of the PBR, which is a principal building report, and the SO686, which is a superintendent organization report. And it's basically our numbers to give us our legal max. So these numbers on the front page that are in bold for the general fund and the legal option budget is showing what we budgeted. But if you go back on the next page, on this, it actually goes through and says, like, our FTE, like column 26 on the last page is 43.5. So that's our full FTE for transportation as pulled from, like the SO66. The at risk is 64.4, and then just on down the line. So when we look at that, let's see here. If you take those numbers and put them together, if you remember, I think it was October, I kind of gave an estimate on which is this page here. And I was saying that we had an increase of $43,024. So that's what we have. Basically, these numbers align. That's on this page to this. And so when you do that, then we also have our KSDE audit. Now, in the past, this KSDE audit has happened January, April, way in the further into the school year. We've actually already had our KSDE audit for the year. And we got our first kind of report back here, was that a week or two ago? Last week. And so our numbers from the KSDE audit were about 12.9 students difference. We have not met with the auditor from KSDE to see where, like, what the numbers are off. When you take that, it's about $60,000 difference, but that difference would be from this 4,130 or 4,001,232 number. So from what we budgeted, we're only about $20,000 off, which is actually pretty good. So, and that, so I really think that's the worst it'll be, other than the SPED, which is already built in. We know that that'll go down. That's not a huge thing. It is weird to me that we're talking about this in December instead of April or May, but it's kind of one of those things. It's a good thing with we're rolling over to the new accounting software and things like that. So it's good to get that one off the list for the year. Are there any questions? If you have questions after you look over it, I know there's a lot there, understanding it and things like that. And that's my report.
Is it appropriate for me to ask a question since you've given an administrative report?
Yeah.
About a problem?
Okay, yeah.
There is an issue with an activity bus. The kids, like the crows to death last Friday morning, going up to Oxford. Even one told me the water bottles were freezing.
Is it the red one?
And there's been a problem with an activity bus for this whole school year, and I think it was even last year. The heater don't work, the windows fall down. No red. Has there been any discussion or plans to either park it and not use it or to replace it?
We haven't had those discuss. I mean, we've talked about some different options to replace it. It's hard to give the go-ahead to replace it with, I mean, a new one's, I think the white one was 180,000. It's hard to do that with just what we're facing with kind of some of the unknowns still.
Well, I got calls and that, you know, that's sad to put kids in a.
Unknowns from what perspective?
Just what costs we'll have with, like transitioning from the the cost of the modulars, like through the time we'll be in them, just things like that.
I understand that, but I guess we can't, if that's the case of the scenario, either A, what is it gonna take to get it fixed? Or B, we can't just, I guess I don't think we can just let it be and under the assumption that I don't even know how to say it, that of the other cost. I understand it's there, but
The first cost to know is what's it take to get it functioning properly, right?
Yeah, and I would say the second question would be is how much have we spent on it in the last
Yes.
24 months? Because I'm guessing it's been a fair chunk, because isn't that the one that's been to CAT
Yep.
multiple times?
I think it got all new injectors and a new
Yeah, it's
injection pump and
water pumps and
So it's ready to go.
basically what I'm saying is it the cost input
Now,
versus
okay.
the return on investment is not there anymore. Especially if, and the windows have been a problem for
For how long?
Since
Well-
we got it.
at least 3 that has been spoken of to me, if not more. You can get them up, but they have to be slammed
And then they'll fall down. My understanding is it's gonna take a new radiator core, a new heater core, and I don't know what else. It's, as far as I'm concerned, that bus needs to be parked and utilize, the Herndon school bus when necessary. You can't have these kids going off now, basketball, wrestling and whatever, leaving at 5:30 or 6 o'clock and running and freezing.
talking about.
So it needs to be something done to resolve the problem. I got hit this weekend about it. And, I don't know what the answer is, but it's gotta be an answer.
I guess my question on that one is it known with you guys that there are issues?
Well, I was aware of issues, but I guess not to the. I mean, I heard it too. That my kid was on the bus, and man, this thing isn't heating at all. I wasn't aware that it was that that bad, and I guess where it's just getting that cold. Maybe Trevor didn't realize it was going to be that inadequate heating wise too.
The issue came to me from the coach and a couple of the kids on there.
Mm-hmm.
They had their stocking caps on and winter coats. And when you start thinking about a bottle of water freezing in there, then you're talking about it being cold.
That bus has been that way since we got it. It was either the year or the year after we got it. We ended up going to Russell, and we had to put pillows around the door to keep the air out because the bottom of the door was that far open all the time. And it's been a POS since the beginning. It was
I think we got the door fixed.
I got theories on why we even got it, but that guy's
That was
not around
last year, I
anymore,
think.
so.
Yeah, there.
Trevor did tell us today, is it the coils? When he was talking about like to replace them would be very expensive, but there's
Either a radiator, I can't remember what he said the radiator costs, or to have it record was a cheaper option.
but it probably wouldn't be able to happen till this summer. Just the guy's out at Holdridge, and he's got a 6-week window.
Try Burlington.
Burlington.
Yeah, I understand how much those radiators are. And that's where I got one. He was very reasonable, and he records them and everything else.
Okay. You send that to it?
Yep.
Because I can give it to Trevor.
The issue, if you had them, when would it get done?
I understand.
We
And
got other vehicles that are not in running order right now.
the next question I have on that note too is do we have to have board approval or motion or anything to start at least getting some pricing on buses?
No, I don't think so. I know Trevor's been looking. He sent me a used one, a smaller activity bus. It was a 2013, had about 50,000 miles on it. It was about 52,000, which I would be comfortable saying that
Like
that's,
an F550
you know,
chassis.
the
type
two
deal,
or 300,000. That's where
yeah.
I'm worried about.
Which
I told him when I saw it, I was like,
20,
2013,
people-ish,
it might just give us.
which a lot of them
Like,
like
us-
wrestling.
I was thinking, well, if we
or
could get one
basketball team.
similar miles, a little bit newer,
Sure.
you know, even if it was 65,000 or 70, maybe that would be the better
And
way to look at it. I don't know.
please help me. Activity buses don't fall under that.
The school bus.
The lifespan, whatever it
It's
is.
25 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't he say a new bus, like one of our big buses, is like 300 now? Is that what
Yeah,
Trevor
that's
said? So
I don't think we have to have a new one,
we'll
but
just get
one to
two. Yeah.
everything working
Just
would
get
be.
two.
But yeah, Trevor and I have talked since he's been here. We need to get a 10-year plan for the vehicles. He's done a lot of research on. They're called.
Didn't we have a sheet set up on that, and we went through that a couple times and got rid of a few.
Yeah.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah, we need to.
Stop that.
But yeah, we need. I mean, the Suburbans are. It's time for their replacement.
I don't think we need 3/4 tons.
Yeah, I don't know that we look at 3/4 tons again. Now, I would say that we should save those. We use one for plowing snow, and then the other one would be a good backup if we get a bus stuck somewhere to go out there to get them. One of the minivans, like Greg Marinser, takes that home back and forth every day during the day. So there's some use for those other vehicles, but we definitely need to start getting those updated.
How many passengers does a Herndon bus hold?
He's just a route
It's
bus.
the route
Currently.
bus.
30?
I was gonna say, it holds at
So we're
least
not
30.
talking about that bus from.
No.
But, I mean, that's
So
bus
that's-
that runs
gotta
out.
be
different
past their
seat
time
too.
frame.
I
Because
mean,
it has been used on a couple occasions.
probably,
And
I
the
wish I could
heater
go there
works
too.
in it,
yeah.
and the windows don't fall down.
Well, that's what they did Saturday, I believe. They used a yellow bus
Yeah, it was a Herndon bus.
in lieu of the red bus.
And on that 10-year plan, I mean, probably that bus, and
What do we do?
I think we have a couple of 17s. We probably need to
take all
be
the kids to
looking
Herndon.
at replacement at that point.
We need 2 activity buses.
Right.
That I don't know.
So when would be a good point to bring that list back on
Trevor and I have been
the board's
planning.
attention?
Have been planning. He's gonna go through them over Christmas break, and we were shooting for January. It would be January, February in that time frame.
The 16th,
The 16th is a special meeting.
or okay, the
20th.
normal.
Yeah, the regular one.
With some potential. Guess question is, can we have some potential pricing and some
Information.
not on a new one, but on a new to us bus?
We could probably have something in there.
And yeah, what this bus would take to, I don't even know if it's fixable.
That's the question.
It's been parked a lot in the last 2 years.
It's wore out. Are we all thinking this along the same lines that bus does? If you wanna run them from lunch down to the elementary school, it's not an issue. But taking off along on the trips, I don't think it should be utilized.
So if you look at last Friday, we had the basketball teams go to Quinter, the wrestlers go to Oxford. If we take the Herndon bus instead, do we have a bus big enough to haul our kids to Herndon in? That just, do we have another bus?
I don't know, that's the question I'm asking.
We have a
Figure
backup
it out.
bus for the Herndon route.
I have 31 kids on the seating chart on the Herndon bus.
We have a backup. I'd have to
That's
see if it's in
with
working
Justice,
order.
Roman, Clara.
I know it's older than way older than the Herndon bus.
So,
Too bad we had to retire old number 9.
Well, it sounds like it's been brought to everybody's attention, so now let's just make something work. Figure it out.
Lisa?
do you have anything?
We had our music program. Sarah had her music program with Rhonda, and they did a fantastic job. They pulled it off in a day and a half. No, they practiced before Thanksgiving, but then basically, I mean, it was like relearning it all, and they're small children, and they did a great job. It was fun. We started our fast bridge testing right when we got back from Thanksgiving break, and we're almost finished with that. Just trying to explain to the kids why it's important. You know, sometimes they just take a test and they don't really. Yes, we just do this. Yes.
That'll be a good thing with the My Education data too, because it'll be something, an easier way for us to show the kids, give them some feedback on their,
They can see their scores, and
Yep.
it'll be right there. Like, especially for the older kids, they'll be able to see it all the time when they log in to see that, oh, I didn't do so great this last time. We had our KISA meeting and got all of our information together. So, talked with, we have a new music teacher that's coming in he'll be teaching second, not third, fourth, fifth, and sixth music. It was the way the schedules aligned, and to try to mess up third grade's schedule, and because it also affects PE and art and library all at the same time, and lunch. So that's where we ended up. And then, so kind of got that ironed out, and I think everybody's on the same page with all that. We are going to have, we're going to bring the elementary kids to a movie at the theater on Thursday. We used to do this in the past. There's a lot of our students that have never been to the movie theater here in town, and so Jennifer and Deidre Castens have been kind enough to donate some money. The farm, okay. And Farmers Day Bank is giving some money out for that too. So, so the kids can each have a popcorn and a drink while they're there. So they're excited. The movie, we are going to show animated Grinch for the little ones, and then Elf for the bigger kids. So
That's a good one.
So that's the plan. We went with Thursday. We're gonna put it on Friday, but it's kind of hard to. We can't do it all at the same time. We have 200 students right around and only 149 seats there, so we have to split it and then clean it, and then trying to get 2 movies in there before 1 o'clock and lunches it's hard. So we're gonna do it on Thursday. The only other thing I have, I talked to Mr. Stoddard about earlier, and I thought I'll just let you guys know now. We have our letters training, which I've talked to you about, and I don't have numbers for everyone or papers for anyone, but just a heads up. They've kind of given us like how many hours it takes to complete outside of work time. And this is what Letters has given us, and they're estimating outside of school time. Sorry. Time's up, guys. That was to go hide the elf. I did it. Anyway, they're projecting outside of school hours it's 137 to 168 hours of time away from like contracted time. Our teachers they didn't know this document was out, and they just kind of wanted you guys to know that they have spent approximately 140 hours on it outside of school time. And I think it might be something that they will be bringing to your attention during negotiated agreement time. This was something that they didn't choose to do, that was forced on them by the state to do, and they've spent a lot of time and energy on it. So just put that in your thought process. I'll leave you with that. That's all I have. Yeah, and I know, I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Since we're gonna go down this
Yep,
path,
do it.
how many other schools are actually paying for the full thing for them?
That is a good question. And that's what I kind of talked to Mr. Stoddard about today, is we need to check and see what the other schools are doing. If it's, I mean, because technically if it's outside of contracted time, we pay them $16 an hour, right? Like if they go take tickets somewhere, they do something like that, that's what they get reimbursed. But we wanted to check with some of the different districts around and see what is the norm, what's the other districts doing, and then I'll get back to you on that. But
Remind me what
that's a
letters-
lot of money. by the
That's
way.
what I was gonna say, that's
It's
That's
a
a lot.
little less than a month.
Literacy.
140
what I
hours.
was
Yeah.
gonna say.
What is literacy?
107.
Oh,
It's
goodness.
literacy
It's
training.
2,200.
I don't need to know the
Yeah.
acronym, but just what are you doing?
It's basically
But
it's basically a reading specialist degree. They're getting like 12 credit hours of like schooling that
So
they
that
are
extra
forced
time has
to
actually
do.
just been training, like you're sitting in front of us training or?
Training. It's like a module that you watch. It's a video,
Class,
a class. It's an online class.
So I think you take
So
quizzes
each
over it.
session, like this one, they sat in front of their computer for 2 hours and took like 4 quizzes in that one session. Then the second session, same thing, an hour and 40 minutes with 4 quizzes that go with it. And you have to get such like a score to even be able to move on to the next unit. So there's, I think 8 units and 8 sections in each unit that they have to pass, and or 6 in these 5 through 8. And so plus then there's also time that they have to go to trainings that they have to be in person or on Zoom for. So it is a lot of things. And this is state of Kansas. Now I have a teacher that's reminding me that Nebraska doesn't ask for this, so maybe I'll just go to Nebraska. So it's an us problem that's been caused by the state of Kansas. So
When did this start?
last year. So we have 8 teachers that are like 18 months in on their stuff. So they will be done in May with their second year.
The state approved like a science of reading with like dyslexia and things like that a couple years ago.
Mhm.
And this is one of the ramifications of it.
And the program is how many hours? What'd you say it was?
100 well,
Estimated.
they are estimating 140 hours is what theirs came to, and that's what Letters has said, 137 and a half to 168. So they're estimating their time has been it's going to be around 140 hours. So, which was interesting because I didn't know how close it was going to be. So they did a good job. Yeah. So
And the district is paid for the class.
the district, well, it's free through the state of Kansas right now.
Wow.
Through this training. But for college credit, they have been reimbursed for their college credit of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So the college credit.
Does
part
this
has been
training get
reimbursed.
added on as the columns in the pay?
Yes. Yes. The only difference is they didn't choose to want to do it. It's not like, oh, you know what I really want to do? I'm going to go take 3 classes to better my blank. No, I took 12 credit hours because I just need to do those.
It's a win-win though, right?
Right.
It helps you on your
Right.
pay scale. It helps.
It's good for the students. It's good for your career. It's good for a lot of things. But it is
And it doesn't
also
cost you anything.
140 hours out of your out of school time. This is not they can't do any of this during school. So.
Sometimes we all have to go above and beyond.
But so nothing really needs to happen today. I just wanted you to be aware.
They can do my John crap.
Right. I'm sure it's very similar. right? But do you get to do yours during work time or
Some
is it
of it.
after work time?
Some of it gets during work.
Right. That's the hard part. It's
Yeah.
they're outside of contracted time that they're putting into it. But some of them don't
I
have
get
a lot
paid
of.
either.
Some of them don't have a lot of outside of time to put towards it. You know,
Fair enough.
just heads up.
My turn?
Yes.
Follow that up.
Follow. Something happy, Jeff.
We also finished up our second round of fast bridge testing. I think there might be a few. I can't remember what they're called. We got to do CBMs maybe.
Probably.
So that's good. We had our high school concert and band performance 2 Sundays ago. It went well. We have our new music teacher coming as well, so that's exciting. The band is doing a blanket fundraiser. They should be showing up here soon. So Mrs. Schmidt said if you need a last minute Christmas gift, look her up. They have some available. The show choir is also performing this week at the community Christmas program Thursday evening. Was Peyton Juneman made, what'd she make? All state choir
Yep,
today.
Down there today.
And then Dorian Colwell is an alternate. So pretty cool there. So congratulations to them. Creative Arts Club hosted a gingerbread house extravaganza competition. I don't know if they were out in the hallway last week. I don't know if they're still there or not. So, wood shop, carpentry class, they got a lot of projects going on. 8th grade classes will be done. We'll switch it semester. So he said they're wrapping up their 8th grade project. Mr. Groffel has been working with the Historical Society for a outhouse restroom, handicap accessible for Stevens Chapel. So they pretty well have it built. He went and picked up the metal for it today. So, in his residential construction class.
You have a question? No.
They're gonna build an outhouse at Stevens Chapel.
I think Ryan's on part of that actually.
Yeah. Handicap accessible and everything.
Get a vault,
Have you guys been to the?
like the base of it, or are they just gonna dig a hole
I don't know.
that would fit the time frame of the chapel?
It's getting a tank installed and a concrete pad.
Is it?
There you go.
If you wanted to know,
Perfect.
I'm obviously wrapped up in this very.
EPA likes that.
Yeah.
So
I'm heavily involved in this project. Multiple reasons. It's
South.
in our township.
Yeah.
So part of that deal. There's a list that goes on how I'm wrapped up in it.
Basketball, wrestling are in full swing for high school. Congratulations to our high school girls, back-to-back Castle Rock tournament champions. Junior high tournament started today in Quinter also. Unfortunately, both of our A teams lost, so they're out of the tournament. Our B teams will go back Thursday. Hope for a better result there for them. I think, I went to several games. It was, it's always fun to see the growth of those kids. Some of them have zero basketball, background at all, and to see, are some of them still good at the end? No, but just to see the improvement is always good.
No.
So that was me, I improved, but I still wasn't good at basketball.
As somebody who's coached junior high girls, I feel for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've hosted both junior high and high school Stars Bowl. We hosted our high school. It was a Monday here a couple weeks back, and our team actually took first at that. So congratulations to them. And then our new English teacher, I believe he'll be here the 31st to kind of get settled in before school starts, and so we're excited to have him for 7-9 English. So, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of stuff, but that's all I got to say about that.
How many minutes we need?
10.
We'll take a little break.
Yeah.
I move to go into 5-minute recess.
Second.
Motion to go into 5 minutes, seconded, all in favor? Back
That's
in.
the line there is.
I digress.
25090.
Don't do well.
Whoever got these chairs ought to be fired.
It's sharp, isn't it? Right there.
No, I got the
Was it you?
bottom.
Yes,
Wow.
sorry.
I move that we go into executive session for 10 minutes.
I didn't want to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
The second?
I'll second it.
All those, we have a motion to go in executive session with
Very confused.
board and admin for 10 minutes. Second, all those in favor? back in.
That's all we're hiring?
Did you have the
He's got names written down.
resignation? Let's say.
No, I don't know who that is.
We're making notes here.
It's been a long day.
It's gotta be said right.
Cliff is already looks stupid.
Makes sense.
Would you just go ahead and make that motion?
Okay,
As presented. As presented.
yeah. I'll move, that we hire Jennifer Emmerizer as the elementary para and accept the resignation of Victoria Hadley as high school math teacher at the end of the school year.
I'll second that.
We have a motion for the hire, then the resignation, and second. All those in favor? Any opposed?
Nope. We got student issues for 5 minutes.
If I make a motion, that was gonna be somebody else.
Just as well, because 5 AM to.
I move that we go into executive session with board and admin for 7 minutes for student opportunities.
I second it.
Motion for 7 minutes of executive session, for board and admin, for 7 minutes. All those in favor? I can't. All opposed? We're back in.
Yeah.
We're done.
You
We
dressed for
got
the
Terry
meeting.
up.
Terry's up.
I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second that.
Motion to adjourn in a second. All those in favor? Please. All opposed?
Did you see what I taped?
Merry Christmas to everybody.